Have you ever noticed that in ancient times, men were respected by the number of wars they led, the burdens they carried, the land they protected, and the way they moved through the world? A man's presence spoke before his words did. His posture, his silence, his discipline, these were not learned from books or applause, but from necessity. Survival demanded strength. Responsibility demanded courage. Failure carried consequences. Then something shifted. Poetry entered the center stage. Performance replaced purpose. Applause became more valuable than respect. Society began rewarding men not for what they could endure, but for what they could display. The loudest voice started winning over the strongest spine. Men were taught how to be liked instead of how to be relied upon. And slowly, without any announcement, masculinity stopped being forged and started being performed. This is not nostalgia, this is observation. A forged man was once a requirement. Today, he is treated like an inconvenience. Men are not born strong. Men are forged, and forging is painful. That truth alone explains why so many avoid it. This is not a motivational piece. This is not encouragement. This is a mirror. If you are uncomfortable watching this, that discomfort is not an accident. It is the signal that something inside you recognizes the truth. 1. Responsibility is the first fire that forges a man. A boy avoids responsibility because it threatens comfort. A man accepts responsibility because it gives meaning. In the real world, strength is not measured by muscles or words. It is measured by how much weight you can carry without breaking and without asking to be praised for it. One, responsibility is the first and most unforgiving forge. It exposes weakness quickly. It does not negotiate. It does not care about intentions. Consider a man who must provide for his family. There is no pause button. No mental health day from reality. The bills do not care how he feels. The child does not care if he is tired. Responsibility does not ask whether he is ready. It assumes he will become ready or be replaced. Modern culture frames responsibility as oppression. In truth, it is refinement. Pressure reveals flaws the same way heat reveals impurities in metal. A man who avoids responsibility stays untested. Untested men mistake comfort for strength. There is a reason boys are restless. They are designed for burden, not entertainment. When that burden is absent, their energy turns inward and becomes confusion, anger, or numbness. A real man is not forged by freedom. He is forged by obligation. Give a man nothing to carry, and he will collapse under the weight of himself. 2. Discipline is not restriction. It is structure for power. Discipline has been misbranded as punishment. In reality, discipline is architecture. It gives shape to potential. An undisciplined man lives in reaction. He eats when he wants, sleeps when he crashes, speaks when emotions spike, and quits when resistance appears. He mistakes freedom for chaos and wonders why his life feels unstable. A disciplined man operates differently. His routines remove friction. His habits conserve energy. His structure creates momentum. Think of a soldier, a craftsman, or a laborer who wakes before sunrise daily. Not because it feels good, but because the work demands it. Over time, the body adapts. The mind sharpens. What once felt heavy becomes automatic. Discipline turns effort into instinct. Without discipline, talent rots. With discipline, even average ability becomes formidable. Men who chase motivation stay inconsistent. Men who build discipline become inevitable. Discipline is the quiet agreement you make with your future self. 3. Silence is a weapon, not a weakness. Weak men speak to be seen. Strong men speak only when necessary. In ancient times, a man who talked excessively was considered unreliable. Speech was measured because words carried consequence. Today, silence is mistaken for insecurity, and constant expression is mistaken for confidence. A forged man understands that silence creates gravity. It forces others to listen. It allows observation. It prevents emotional leakage. In real life, the man who reacts instantly loses leverage. The man who pauses controls the exchange. Imagine a workplace conflict. One man explodes, explains, justifies, and exposes his emotions. Another listens, nods, says little, and acts later. Who appears dangerous? Who appears composed? Silence is not emptiness. It is containment. Men who cannot control their tongues will never control their lives. 4. Pain is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Pain is information. Avoidance is decay. Forging requires heat. Without resistance, nothing hardens. Modern men are trained to escape pain at all costs, scrolling, numbing, distracting. As a result, they never develop tolerance for discomfort. Real life does not care about comfort. Illness, loss, failure, rejection. These arrive without warning. Men who have never voluntarily faced discomfort crumble when involuntary pain appears. Consider physical labor. The first weeks hurt. Muscles burn. Breath shortens. But the body adapts. The same applies mentally. Facing difficulty builds capacity. A man who seeks ease becomes fragile. A man who seeks challenge becomes durable. Pain is temporary. Weakness becomes permanent if you keep running from it. 5. Emotional control is not emotional suppression. There is a lie that men must either suppress emotions or drown in them. Both extremes destroy. A forged man does not deny emotion. He commands it. He experiences anger without becoming violent. He experiences fear without becoming paralyzed. He experiences desire without becoming addicted. Emotional control is the difference between reaction and response. In real scenarios, arguments, loss, humiliation, the man who can regulate his internal state maintains authority. The man who vents loses it. Strength is not absence of feeling. Strength is mastery over feeling. A man who is ruled by emotion is easily ruled by others. 6. Competence earns respect, not intentions. The world does not reward effort. It rewards results. Men are taught to believe that being nice, trying hard, or meaning well should be enough. Reality disagrees. Competence creates security. When a man knows what he is doing, whether fixing, leading, deciding, people trust him. Words become unnecessary. In emergencies, nobody asks who had good intentions. They ask who can act. Skill is built through repetition, failure, and humility. Forged men seek mastery, not validation. Respect is rented through competence and paid in consistency. 7. Sacrifice is the price of identity. Every identity costs something. There is no version of manhood that comes without payment. The only real choice a man has is whether he pays that price intentionally or allows life to extract it from him later. A man cannot have discipline and indulgence at the same time. He cannot build strength while constantly choosing avoidance. He cannot demand respect while living in quiet cowardice. Each choice closes certain doors while opening others, and pretending otherwise only delays consequences. Forging demands trade-offs most men refuse to make. Late nights when comfort would be easier. Missed pleasures that seem harmless in the moment, but quietly erode momentum. Delayed gratification when distraction is always within reach. These sacrifices feel unfair until the man who avoids them realizes he has been paying a far heavier price without noticing. Modern culture frames sacrifice as loss. In truth, sacrifice is selection. It is a man deciding what matters enough to protect, even when protection costs him comfort, convenience, or approval. The man who refuses sacrifice ends up serving impulses, habits, and circumstances he never consciously chose. The man who sacrifices today gains authority tomorrow because he owns himself. His time, energy, and attention are not constantly sold to the highest distraction. What you refuse to give up will eventually own you. 8. Solitude builds clarity. The world does not reward effort, it rewards results. This truth feels harsh because effort is personal. Results are exposed. A man can hide behind effort for years. He can say he tried, that he meant well, that circumstances were unfair. Results remove that hiding place. They show without emotion whether something worked or failed. Men are taught to believe that being nice, trying hard, or having good intentions should be enough. Reality disagrees. Bills are not paid by effort. Trust is not built on promises. Respect does not arrive because a man wanted it badly enough. The world only responds to what actually gets done. Competence creates security. When a man knows what he is doing, whether fixing something broken, leading people through uncertainty, or making decisions under pressure, others relax around him. They stop hovering, they stop questioning. His presence reduces chaos. Words become unnecessary because outcomes speak first. In real life, especially in moments of stress, nobody asks who had good intentions. When something breaks, when danger appears, when time runs out, the question is always the same. Who can act, and who knows what to do right now? The man with skill moves forward. The man with excuses steps aside. 9. Legacy is built in private. History remembers outcomes, not excuses. Time is ruthless in what it preserves. It does not record intentions, emotions, or explanations. It records what was built, what was protected, and what survived because a man showed up every day and did the work. Excuses may sound convincing in the moment, but they disappear the moment results are counted. A man's legacy is not created in public speeches or dramatic declarations. It is formed quietly, through private discipline, in how he treats those who depend on him when it costs him something, in the promises he keeps when breaking them would be easier, in what he chooses to do when no one is watching and nothing is being recorded. Children learn more from observation than instruction. They do not become what a man says. They become what he repeatedly does. His habits shape their expectations of strength, responsibility, and reliability. Over time, a man's consistency turns into his inheritance, passed down not through words, but through example. Your habits today are the story told about you tomorrow. 10. A forged man becomes a standard, not a performer. A real man does not seek applause. He becomes a reference point. Performance depends on attention. Standards exist without it. A performer adjusts himself to the room. His tone, values, and behavior shift to maintain approval. A forged man does the opposite. He remains consistent and the room adjusts around him. Others instinctively measure themselves in his presence. His behavior sets an unspoken baseline. His presence stabilizes environments because he is predictable in character and reliable in action. He does not need to announce boundaries. His consistency enforces them. When he speaks, it carries weight because it is rare and deliberate. He does not chase identity through labels, aesthetics, or declarations. He embodies it through repetition, day after day, decision after decision. His actions align so tightly with his principles that explanation becomes unnecessary. Over time, his absence is felt more than his presence was noticed. Systems weaken. Standards drop. People realize stability was coming from him all along. Stand firm long enough, and the world will orient itself around you. On a final note, men are not born strong. They are forged through responsibility, discipline, pain, control, sacrifice, and solitude. This process is unforgiving because it must be. The world does not need more performers. It needs men who can carry weight without collapsing. If you are willing to be forged, the fire is waiting. Men are forged, not born.